The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
Shell's Wonderful World of Golf begins its second year in South Florida, near the Palm Beaches at a brand new golf course. Carved out of the sandhills and marshes that dominate this area, this breathtaking layout also possesses many characteristics of a Scottish links. Today it will host a match between Nick Price of Zimbabwe, the #1 player in the world, and Greg Norman of Australia, the #2 player in the world. This is Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, a series of international golf matches played on the world's most famous golf courses. The words Palm Beach bring to mind pictures of warm winter days spent in the mansions of the very rich that rim the golden beaches of the South Atlantic. It is here that the mighty heating plant known as the Gulf Stream is closer to shore than any place else, and the balmy weather has made Palm Beach the winter capital of America's upper class. To the north of Palm Beach, along the Intercoastal Waterway, near the town of Jupiter and its landmark lighthouse, we find the brand new Medalist Golf Club. It is the latest creation of Pete Dye and was co-designed by Greg Norman. It features a truly Norman-esque par 5 of 663 yards. A stern test of golf, the 18 holes here have been fitted amongst the native pines and sandhills without disturbing the abundant marshes and wildlife that are so prevalent here. Par 72 opened January 1st, 1995. Pete Dye and Greg Norman architects, and Greg has the record here, 67. Hello, I'm Jack Whitaker. Welcome to the second year of our new edition of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, this historic television golf show that has a very simple formula. Take the best players in the world and put them on the best golf courses in the world. In December, we'll have a whole series of these shows, beginning with Jack Nicklaus against Tom Watson at Pebble Beach. But we begin today in Hobe Sound, Florida, at a brand new golf course. This is the Medalist Golf Club, a course designed by Greg Norman and Pete Dye, and it's a course about which we're going to hear an awful lot in the years to come. Our two players are close friends who have been fighting out to be #1 in the world for the last few seasons. Greg Norman against Nick Price. And with the players on the first tee, here is my colleague, Steve Miller.
Thank you very much, Jack. It is indeed a pleasure to join you today for what promises to be an exciting match for Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. We're delighted to have joining us today the two top-ranked players in the world today. #1, Nick Price, and Nick carrying the #1 ranking carries with it quite a responsibility for you, doesn't it?
Well, Steve, it's something I try not to think about too much because this game's hard enough to play without having to worry about being #1. But one of the things I'm trying to do is to ensure that the health and the strength of junior golf in my country is kept going, and that the youngsters there have, you know, an opportunity, maybe more opportunity than I had, getting into colleges over here. And I've really tried hard to get as much, put so much back into junior golf, and that's, you know, what I think is my main concern.
Greg is a #2 player in the world and playing one of your longtime friends here. Is it difficult today to go out and pitch your skills against his?
No, because we have so much pride in our game, Steve. I think I'm just happy and proud that Nick is #1 because I know how hard it is to get there, and when you're there, it's hard to keep it there. He deserves his rankings right now, and, you know, for a friend to be in that position, I'm very, very happy for him. But when we go on the golf course, I know we've played a lot of practice rounds together and a few exhibition matches. Pride comes into it. It really, pride is the most important thing at our level of the game of golf, no matter whether you got to hit a shot at 18 or the first tee shot. And playing with your best friends, it's easy to play, but it's hard to play at the same time.
Well, gentlemen, good luck today. Somehow I think we'll see some good golf out there today.
Steve, let's take a look at this first hole.
The first hole at the Medalist, Jack, is a gentle opening hole, 383 yards. It typically plays downwind. Players do not need a driver from the tee as bunkers right and left tend to funnel in the landing area. Then it's a short second shot to a green built right on the ground. You'll see a lot of this today at the Medalist. Flagstick in the front left-hand portion.
Greg Norman to lead off.
Norman with a 3-wood, and it is right down the middle. Great swing.
That's Jim Hand, the past president of the USGA, who is our rules official for this match. Nick Price.
Price with a 2-iron. Didn't catch it just like he liked, but he's in pretty good shape.
Well, both in the fairway. The winner will take home $100,000 and the loser will take home $50,000. A tie will be an even split. There's no sudden death here. Here's the Sunny World rankings. Nick Price, #1. Greg Norman, #2, followed by Faldo, Longer, and Olathibal.
No Americans there.
Not an American in sight. Now Nick Price.
This is an 8-iron from 156, wind blowing from the left over his left shoulder.
Be close.
Oh my, what a magnificent shot. Opening shot has been fired by Nick Price. Now Greg Norman.
Little pitching wedge from about 103 yards from the flagstick.
Oops.
Little opening hole nerves, maybe. Greg trying to play very well in front of the home crowd.
Well, here he is now with his putt.
Norman's faced with a tough 2-putt right off the bat here. He's got to worry about speed. These greens are surprisingly fast for Bermuda.
Oh my. That's the way it's going to be all day, is it? Huh? Oh, no,
Almost a gotcha, huh?
Now Price for the birdie. Well, birdie 3 for Nick Price, almost a birdie for Greg Norman on the very first hole. And at the end of that first hole, Greg Norman is even, Nick Price at 1 under. Once before, on the original Shell's Wonderful World of Golf series, there featured a match between a great player from Australia and one from Southern Africa. It took place at the historic Royal Melbourne Golf Club in Australia, and it featured South Africa's Gary Player against 5-time British Open champion Peter Thomson of Australia. Thomson, who was at the height of his game when the match took place, played a stellar round of golf over the Alistair Mackenzie layout. At the par 3 7th, he hit a wonderful iron shot to the uphill hole and knocked in the birdie putt to take an early lead. Player did not strike the ball well and continually found himself playing from one of the many bunkers that dot this course. Regarded by many as the finest bunker player ever, Gary displayed his skill from the sand repeatedly and managed to keep the match close. But on this day, Thomson would prove to be too much. Overall, he would make 5 birdies on this difficult layout and beat Player by 4 shots. It was another great match from the original Shell's Wonderful World of Golf.
After all the hype and all the noise, which gasoline still attracts more drivers than any other? No contest. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Callaway has taken the technology from the Big Bertha driver and put it into the Big Bertha irons. Just imagine the Big Bertha driver's perimeter weighting roll forward to form a deep undercut channel around the biggest, consistently thin steel face. You'd have the world's friendliest iron. That's why you should try the new Big Bertha iron by Callaway.
Big Bertha irons at fine golf shops.
Every year, thousands of accidents occur because drivers momentarily take their eyes off the road. To help prevent this, our engineers have spent countless hours perfecting the Nissan Maxima's ergonomics. Shapes have been scrutinized, and key buttons have been sculpted to be recognized by touch alone. At Nissan, the slightest detail counts, because on the road, the slightest second counts. The Maxima from Nissan.
Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. Brought to you by Shell, the best-selling gasoline in the world. Comfort Inns and Suites. Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. And Callaway Golf, makers of the Big Bertha irons and the Big Bertha Warbird metal woods.
So after 2, Greg Norman +1, Nick Price +1 as we come to the 3rd hole.
The 3rd is the first of the set of par 5s here at the Medalist Club. Either player will try to take his tee shot down the right-hand side as close to that fairway bunker as he can. Then the 2nd is one which, if they hit it well from the tee, can reach this very small green in 2. The wayward shot to the right will find the bunker. The safe play is to kind of lay up in the left, a little hollow there. But look how small this putting surface is, less than 3,000 square feet. You make 4 here, you deserved it.
Greg Norman.
Norman trying to hit a little slider off the tee has lost it well right.
That wasn't quick enough, was it?
And not where you want to be. Aerial coverage of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf is being provided by the MetLife blimp Snoopy 1. MetLife's aerial ambassador travels over 60,000 miles a year to cover sporting events and television specials across the United States. Nick Price is already driven, and he may be in trouble.
I'm not in a hurry to hit this one, believe me.
Price has drawn a miserable lie. For all intents and purposes, this ball is buried. He's got an 8-iron. And that's all he could do from there. In fact, that's a pretty good shot.
And this is what he has left for his 3rd shot. Now, what is Greg Norman going to do?
Different set of problems for Norman. He's got an abbreviated follow-through. That tree is right in his way. He has trees in front of his ball. He's taking a lofted iron. He's going to try to just play up and over, stop his forward swing, hit the ball about 120 yards.
Good shot.
And that's exactly what he did.
Fine recovery, and this is what Greg had left for his 3rd shot. Both players put it on the green in regulation. Greg Norman 2-putted for his par, and here is Nick Price for birdie. Oh, what a putt.
Nothing changes.
Birdie, double bogey, birdie.
Oh, a lovely birdie there by Nick Price. And after 3 holes, Greg Norman is +1. Nick Price at even par.
Some of the matches from the original Shell's Wonderful World of Golf series are now available. Start your collection today for $24.95 plus $4.75 shipping and handling. Call 800-637-3557 for Volume 1, Cotton versus Saracen.
With Formula Shell gasoline, you might find your car performing in ways you never thought it could. It's what you'd expect from Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Now, let's go to 18, where Chichi Rodriguez has a tough putt to save par.
It shouldn't be too hard, Peter. He's already saved 30% on the room.
That's right, Rossi. Travelers 50 and over can get a 30% discount at Comfort Inns and Suites by calling 1-800-228-5150.
Yeah!
Great putt. How does he do it?
Es el descuento. I think he said it's the discount.
Call 1-800-228-5150, where travelers 50 and over can save 30% because winning never gets old and neither does saving money.
Relax, kick back, rest easy. Not the first thoughts that come to mind when investing on your own. Working with a Dean Witter broker, you'll feel differently. Every client's ambition should be our ambition. Their dreams, our dreams. Because after all, it's reassuring to know someone is there looking out for your interests. Dean Witter. You measure success, one investor at a time.
This is an America West plane. It's a Boeing 757. It has 2 Rolls-Royce engines, features first class and coach sections, and flies from coast to coast. As you can see, it's remarkably like the planes on other national airlines. What's remarkably unlike other national airlines are the fares we charge to fly you on one. America West. It seems silly to pay more. For reservations, call your professional travel agent or America West.
A look at Iron Mike Tyson as he prepares to enter the ring again. Plus, the Tour de France rolls toward its dramatic conclusion today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Welcome back to southern Florida, and the big attraction in this part of the state are the white beaches, great fishing, and all kinds of water sport. Well, before it began, Steve, despite the power of these 2 golfers, I thought the golf course might be the star.
Jack, I happen to agree with you. We've already seen in these opening holes where if you hit a marginal shot, you really pay the penalty. You know, these players have hit shots that weren't too bad. Norman making the bogey at 2, what looked like a pretty good second shot.
Indeed he did, and now we have this beautiful little short par 4 at the 5th.
Well, Jack, it may be short, but you must drive the ball well. There's trouble left with water and trees to the right. Price on the tee.
Pretty long carry, too, isn't it?
A lot of forced carries here at the Medalist, but attractive forced carries.
Yeah, very nice. Good shot. Trying to pick it up.
Beautiful tee shot here.
Now, Norman.
Norman with the driver as well. Well, that's just perfect. You know, Jack, I think in Price and Norman, you may have the 2 best long drivers of the golf ball in the game today.
And they placed them accurately in the fairway here, didn't they? Just where you have to be.
Take a look at the distinctive coloration. That's 419 fairway grass, just short of the green, but that distinctive color grass, that's actually dwarf grass. That's putting surface grass that Pete Dye and Greg Norman have let grow back down toward the fairway. Now Nick Price with his second.
Right there, pin high left. Shot. Stay there.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Huh. Norman with a wedge where he's beginning to stiffen just a little. Well, he's pulled that. That is not very good from that distance. He can't like that.
Sorry, Tony. Now, Nick Price. His second shot was very close to the hole at one time, but spun back to here.
If there is such a thing as a simple 20-footer uphill for birdie, this is it for Price. Swing slightly from right to left.
See, I've been practicing my putting.
So a birdie for Nick Price. Greg Norman took 2 putts for his par. And now at the end of 5 holes, Greg Norman is at +1, Nick Price at -1 as we come to the 6th hole.
What a gorgeous setting for the tee shot here at the par 4 6th hole. This island tee offers a dramatic backdrop to this very difficult and long par 4. There's a relatively wide landing area for the well-played tee shot, and then the fun begins. Now, this is a small green that really does not allow the player to land the ball on the putting surface with his second shot. You see these players bounce the ball in like Open Championship golf.
This gives you some idea of the land on which this course is built as we zoom back in here to the tee. And Nick Price.
Chosen a 3-wood. It's an interesting choice on a 469-yard par 4. And he has left that tee shot well back.
Now Norman.
Interesting, Jack, that Norman's gone with the driver here. Obviously more familiar with the golf course, but certainly with his length, will leave a shorter second shot.
Swing me, Greg.
Shot.
Good swing.
My, look at this go. He's well past Nick here, isn't he?
Huge advantage for Norman. I think Nick Price made the wrong play from the tee.
That's the shot Norman has left.
Greg, you've played a lot of golf with your partner over there. What's the big reason he's playing so much better now than, say, 10 years ago?
Oh, Steve, I think that's easy. I think he just realized he got to the next level. He's got a lot of confidence, and heck, he's got a great game, you know. And I think when you combine all those things with your playability and your mental approach and the belief in yourself, you take it away.
Any weakness?
No weakness. I think if you're the #1 in the world, you can't have a weakness. And if you do have a little bit of a weakness, you go out and fix it up within 24 hours.
This green release, Jeff.
5 or 6, Squeak.
That's where I was in between. Normally 6 is 175. Downwind we should be able to get 185, or maybe 190.
I think the green's a little softer too, you know. I think we need 5.
I think just a
smooth one.
Smooth one, yeah. I like that.
Put down a little bit on it.
All right.
Interesting second shot for Price here. The ground really comes into play. He can land this ball short of the green. He has 220 with a 5-iron.
Stay on the green.
Well, he carried the ball farther than he might like, and you see the result.
Kick it back on the green. Oh, I know where that's gone. It's gone into the pine needles.
Well, you might call this part of the cruel vagaries of Medalist Golf Club. Price just off the green. Has to play a bunker shot from that loose sand and pine straw. Really couldn't get his club on the ball very cleanly, and you see the result.
And so from there, Nick would take bogey on this hole while Greg Norman parred. And at the end of 6, Greg Norman +1, Nick Price even. And we come now to the 7th hole, a par 5, 520 yards. Both players have hit their drives and their second shots.
Norman's tee shot found the fairway bunker. He laid up beautifully with his second. This is his third from just under 100 yards. He's hit 4 wedges at 1 and 5. But not here.
Magnificent shot by Greg Norman. Now, Nick Price had gone for the green in 2 and ended up here. Third shot.
Difficult shot for Nick. He's got to get up very quickly. Oh, it came out fast. Came out fast. So after 2 brilliantly played shots here, driver 3-wood pin high, Price drew a very difficult lie for his third, and you see the result.
A large and very informative gallery turning out for this match.
Nick putting back up the slope from about 18 feet for birdie.
He has been a birdie machine today. Only one par thus far.
Well, this is a must-make for Norman. Price has made everything. Greg, not quite as good. Oh, my. A miss hit, a misread. So a disappointed Greg Norman walks away with par. So at the end of 7 holes, it is Nick Price on the heels of 4 birdies, goes to 1 under. Greg Norman, 1 over.
The Medalist is the newest golfing jewel in an area that is famous for its great courses. Just a few miles down the road from here is the Jupiter Hills Club, sporting 36 holes. Its more famous Hills course was designed by the legendary George Fazio and hosted the 1987 United States Amateur won by Billy Mayfair. Nearby is the Loxahatchee Club, a wonderful layout designed by Jack Nicklaus. It has the look and feel of a Scottish links course. Not far from Loxahatchee is the Old Marsh Golf Club, another Pete Dye gem. The course is vintage Pete Dye, with these huge mounds guarding the greens and trouble everywhere you look. Finally, this area calls PGA National its own. The champion course here has hosted 2 PGA championships. It is also the headquarters of the PGA of America.
For $30,000, you could get a Mercedes C220 and finish the quarter mile in a time of 17 seconds. For $43,000, you could get a Lexus GS 300 and finish with a slightly better time. Or for $15,000, you could get a Nissan Altima, save a great deal of money, and have the best time of all. Now lease the Altima GXE for 0 down and $249 a month for 36 months.
When I won the Australian Open and set a course record, I used my Big Bertha Heavenwood. I used it from the fairway, from the rough, from the bunker. I can use it anywhere. It is so easy to use and it's so helpful. I really love my Big Bertha Heavenwood. It's the #1 club in my bag. And I bet if you try it, you would love it as much as I do.
Big Bertha Heavenwood at fine golf shops.
Sunday, Nicolas Cage, Tommy Lee Jones, and Sean Young.
Once a helicopter battle has been engaged,
take on the world's most dangerous drug lords.
Somebody is going to die.
Firebirds, Sunday here on ABC.
A monstrous weapon of destruction. An untested president. Should the weapon be used? This summer's best-selling thriller? No, it really happened. Peter Jennings reporting. Hiroshima, why the bomb was dropped. Thursday.
Cadillac's North Star powertrain system is a gem, world-class, popular mechanics. Seville outsells the Lexus LS 400 and Infiniti Q45 combined. Count on Cadillac this summer to bring you a new Seville SLS with the North Star system at its lowest lease rate of the year. Just $499 a month for 36 months with $499 down. Cadillac, creating a higher standard. See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
Here's Dick Tracy.
The Daily News comics are a Sunday tradition in New York. Mayor LaGuardia used to read them to kids over the radio. Dick Tracy, Orphan Annie, Peanuts, Doonesbury. And now the Daily News is the only New York City paper with Sunday comics and the only paper with New York View. Voted the best newspaper TV guide in the country. A whole Sunday's worth of sports, news, entertainment, and business, all for just $1.
This is my money.
So get the Sunday Daily News. It's the most New York you can get, and it's only $1.
Crystal Bernard and Clarence Clemens on the next Live.
Welcome back to the Medalist Golf Club. We are at the 8th hole, par 3 of 213 yards.
A stout par 3 of 213. Into the wind, Nick Price going with a 2-iron. Do not want to miss it right.
Easy. Get along, Lynn. Get on the ground.
Come on, Greg. Good shot.
Safe shot. A lot of action on that green as Greg Norman now gets ready.
Greg has gone to a 3-iron. He's got to stand on it to get it to the flagstick.
Good looking shot, Greg. Boy, that's all over.
Somebody likes it.
Well, they should too, Jack. That's a wonderful shot at this long par 3.
And another golden opportunity for Greg Norman, because Nick Price now has putted about 6 feet by. Has that left for par as we watch Norman for birdie. Looks good.
Greg can't buy a putt today. He's hit the hole now 3 times. Nothing will drop. And just the opposite is true for Nick Price. Nick hits these short putts so solidly. He's so good from inside 6 feet. It's very aggressive.
So 2 pars at the 8th hole for these 2 mighty warriors. And at the end of 8 holes, Greg Norman remains at +1, Nick Price at -1. And we come to the 9th hole.
A long, difficult par 4 9th offers up one of the most intimidating tee shots on the entire golf course. Either player will have to play a well-played tee shot just to hit a long iron to this very small green. You miss it out to the right, you find the bunker. You turn it over to the left, and there's water hazard there as well. 4 is an extremely good score here.
Some more of the great marshland here. Nick Price.
I think this hole redefines the term forced carry as Price going with a driver here.
Carry ball.
Oh, and he has found that fairway bunker, and he is a long way away for his second shot.
Greg Norman, in the meantime, has hit it right in the fairway.
Nick, you've known Greg for almost 20 years. What makes him such a good ball striker?
Well, I don't know. I think he works really hard. I think people don't understand, don't realize how hard a worker he is. And he's paid attention to all the fundamentals in the game, you know, and he's got all his fundamentals in order. He goes out there and practices them to reinforce them. And I think one of the things that I really enjoy about his game is he's such a strong driver of the ball, you know, and as they say, the better driver you are, you only play half a golf course if you drive it in the fairway all the time. And his putting's starting to come around, so, you know, he's just the kind of player who's going to play well for an awful long time.
I hit that really good.
Well, he came up a little short, so he must have misclubbed himself. He got all of it.
Well, Nick Price has a tough second shot. He's just over 200 yards. He's gone with a 3-iron. Oh, he has topped it. He is cold, flat, topped it out of the bunker. Nick might have slipped a little bit in an attempt to get a little extra out of that 3-iron. And now what's left? Well, 153 yards, a 6-iron, back into the wind. No less easy than the shot he just had.
You're right.
Looks good.
Oh, what a great shot. My goodness, what a great shot. Don't they know how to save par?
Just your basic way to play a long par 4.
Wow. Now, Norman's third shot.
Chosen a putter. Remember, this is dwarf grass, cut at fringe height. This is almost like being just off the green. He's about 10 yards off the front, about 50 feet from the flagstick. I like this feature here. It gives the player a number of options when he misses a green. He can play 3 or 4 different shots from the same spot.
So both players with great third shots take par at 9, and here are their scorecards going out. Norman 1 over 37, and Nick Price at 35, 1 under. It had been two different type rounds. Greg Norman with the bogey at 2 had all pars, but Nick Price, on the other hand, was up and down. 4 birdies, a bogey, and a double. We'll be back with the back nine in just a moment.
No gasoline keeps more cars moving than Shell. So no matter how many times they've been down that road, we'll keep them running young. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Now, let's go to 18, where Chichi Rodriguez has a tough putt to save par.
It shouldn't be too hard, Peter. He's already saved 30% on the room.
That's right, Rossi. Travelers 50 and over can get a 30% discount at Comfort Inns and Suites by calling 1-800-228-5150.
Yeah.
Great putt. How does he do it?
Es el descuento. I think he said it's the discount.
Call 1-800-228-5150, where travelers 50 and over can save 30% because winning never gets old and neither does saving money.
They say man cannot live on bread alone. Fortunately, at Discover Card, we couldn't agree more. That's why we offer the Cashback Bonus Award. Each year, you'll receive real money back based on your annual purchases. So the more you use your card, the more you'll get back. And with over $500 million given out already, you're sure to get your fill. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Accept it where you see the Novus sign.
Every year, thousands of accidents occur because drivers momentarily take their eyes off the road. To help prevent this, our engineers have spent countless hours perfecting the Nissan Maxima's ergonomics. Shapes have been scrutinized, and key buttons have been sculpted to be recognized by touch alone. At Nissan, the slightest detail counts, because on the road, the slightest second counts. The Maxima from Nissan.
Welcome back to the Palm Beaches. The Bath and Tennis Club of Palm Beach there. On the right, the Atlantic Ocean. To the left, Lake Worth. Well, 2 shots after 9 holes with players like this on a course like this is nothing, Steve.
Jack, it's not, but I think what's impressed me about the front side has been the relaxed way in which Nick Price has played. You know, he's made 4 birdies, and he's looked good doing it. Greg Norman, on the other hand, you know, playing in front of a lot of family and friends, and the fact that he's a co-designer here along with Pete Dye, I think he's been a little careful, and it's shown in his marginal play.
Well, we have 9 great holes coming up here on the back. They've already hit their tee shots at 10. Let's take a look at this marvelous golf hole.
Well, the 10th is a very short downwind par 4 playing 384 yards. Both players played irons from the tee. Greg Norman with his second shot from about 136 yards away.
Stay with it. That might have been the best swing of the day right there.
Now Nick Price, pitching wedge from 133.
And both safely on to start this back 9. And now Greg Norman for birdie.
This for his first birdie of the day.
Yes.
There it is. Off the snide.
Yeah, Nick Price got par there, so now Greg Norman with that birdie goes to even. Nick Price remains at 1 under, and we come now to the 11th hole.
The 11th hole here at the Medalist Club is an interesting but short par 4. Gives the player a number of options to play from the teeing ground. A well-played tee shot will leave the player a short wedge to a longish, very undulating green. The flagstick today is in the middle of the green. It looks simple, and it should be.
Both players have hit their tee shots. Nick Price in the middle of the fairway, but look at Greg Norman. He didn't miss the fairway by much, but he might as well have missed it by a mile.
Norman's drawing a horrible lie. The ball not only below the fairway, it's in a hole. Can't get his club on the ball cleanly. All he can do is hack at it, try to hit it about maybe 50, 60 yards. Now, there's a deep bunker left that he doesn't want to fool with. So if he gets careless here, he could run up his score. That's all he could do from that horrible lie. So Greg now has a third shot of about 60 yards left of the flags, but can realistically save par from there, though.
Tight little hole. Nice hole.
And Nick's driven the ball in the middle of the fairway, but in a divot, but it's a clean divot. He only has 93 yards to the flag. Really no problem here. This is a pitching wedge.
Get close.
Makes it look easy.
Thanks. Nice and clean anyway. It had some serious spin on it.
Well, once again, Nick Price has put the pressure on Greg Norman. Greg's got to save par here, or he's going to lose a lot of ground.
Greg's very good from this distance.
Right.
Think about Norman's length, but you forget about his touch.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony.
Now, Nick Price for birdie.
If you drew up a putt that a player would like to have, this is it. Right to left, slightly uphill from about 8 feet. Well, that is the first bad stroke we have seen from Price today. It's so makeable, and after 4 birdies, that stroke somewhat of a surprise, and I'm sure to Nick as well. What a save this will be. Greg in trouble off the tee, hacked it out with his second. Beautiful third. And like Price at the ninth, salvages a great par here at 11.
2 different type pars, but 2 pars indeed to keep Greg Norman at even par. Nick Price at 1 under par after 11 holes. This is the Spanish-style clubhouse, which sets the tone for the first great golf course in the South, Seminole. It was designed by Donald Ross and built in the 1920s. It's the club of choice for the members of Palm Beach's exclusive community. Built right by the Atlantic Ocean, it is continually stroked by sea breezes. Its 200 bunkers dominate this marvelous layout, where Ben Hogan always practiced in preparation for the Masters. It was Hogan who summed up the qualities of Seminole the best when he said, if you can play well here, you can play well anywhere.
Now, let's go to 18, where Chichi Rodriguez has a tough putt to save par.
It shouldn't be too hard, Peter. He's already saved 30% on the room.
That's right, Rossi. Travelers 50 and over can get a 30% discount at Comfort Inns and Suites by calling 1-800-228-5150.
Yeah!
Great putt. How does he do it?
Es el descuento. I think he said it's the discount.
Call 1-800-228-5150, where Travelers 50 and over can save 30%, because winning never gets old, and neither does saving money.
For $30,000, you could get a Mercedes C220 and finish the quarter mile in a time of 17 seconds. For $43,000, you could get a Lexus GS 300 and finish with a slightly better time. Or for $15,000, you could get a Nissan Altima, save a great deal of money, and have the best time of all. Now lease the Altima GXE for 0 down and $249 a month for 36 months.
Minor arthritis pain isn't going to hold me back, so I use Ultra Strength Bengay. It has 3 pain relievers. They only have 1. It's the strongest Bengay ever for deep, penetrating warmth to help the pain go away. Because to me, retirement has nothing to do with doing nothing. Ultra Strength Bengay, nothing stronger. And it's never been easier to use, because now Bengay comes in an easy open flip-top tube, commended by the Arthritis Foundation.
What is it about cars and Shell? What is it that makes Shell the world's best-selling gasoline? Perhaps it's just chemistry. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Tomorrow on ABC Sports, the biggest names in golf play the final round of their premier international event, the British Open Live. And later, top drivers roar by the Lake Erie shore in the Cleveland IndyCar Grand Prix. Then, the world's best cyclists roll into Paris for the dramatic conclusion of their greatest race, the Tour de France. It's all tomorrow on ABC Sports.
Welcome back to the Palm Beaches. This is the Intercoastal Waterway, which is to boats what Interstate 95 is to automobiles. And we've come now to the 12th hole.
An interesting par 3 of 205 yards. It's the largest green on the entire golf course. Well in excess of 10,000 square feet. Greg Norman first to play with a 4-iron with the wind blowing from the left. Depending on where this flagstick is, this could be a 2 or 3 club difference, depending on the location of the flag.
Looking good.
Good looking shot, Greg. Good shot.
Yeah, nicely played.
Nice play, Greg. Great shot.
Is that how you designed the hole to be played? Huh?
Yeah.
Just that little slider in there.
Yeah,
Keep it underneath the hole. You like this, Squeak?
Yes, I do.
It's interesting that Greg is about a half club longer than Nick on most clubs, but especially the long irons. Price now with a 3-iron.
Not too much.
Carry. Carry. Okay, bud. Okay.
Just a little too much, but it hangs up. It does not go in the bunker.
3.
Hold it there.
No, push a little bit. I was over the tip.
Nick Price has a very awkward stance. Right foot in bunker, left foot out. He's choked up on the putter blade down to the steel. Difficult to judge the speed and distance when you're standing to the ball as awkwardly as he.
There's a friend of Greg Norman's, race car driver Danny Sullivan in the gallery.
Norman currently even par. Price 1 under. Greg could close the margin right here.
There.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Knock it in there, bud.
Good, buddy.
Thank you.
Standing on the 10th tee, Nick Price was 2 strokes to the good. Now he has this short putt to remain tied with Mr. Norman. So a swing of 3 shots in a span of 3 holes as Greg Norman now assumes the lead.
After 12 holes, Greg Norman 1 under par, Nick Price even par. And that brings us to this daunting 13th hole. Steve?
A formidable par 5, Jack. 663 yards. Yes, that's not a typo. It is, in fact, 663. As you might imagine, this par 5 cannot be reached into, even by these 2 terrific hitters. The real key here is how you set up the play of the 3rd shot. You simply want to position your second so that you leave yourself a fairly easy 3rd shot. The farther you hit your second, the more narrow the landing area becomes. This is truly a 3-shot par 5.
I would guess. There it is, 663 yards. Greg Norman.
Good shot. Greg.
Good swing.
It's a great drive by Norman.
Thank you.
Perfect position.
Oh, man, look at that thing go.
Yo.
Everyone told me this is your tee, Greg. No one else plays this tee, huh?
Look at all the divots. I don't take divots off the tee. I can tell you that.
Yeah, like that 600, what is it? 660 yards.
Well, Nicky's right. Concession by Pete Dye made to Greg Norman. This is, in fact, his preferred tee.
Shot, Nick.
Wow.
All right, Danny.
Well, even after those 2 monumental drives, they still have a long par 4 left here.
You guys have a friendship that goes back almost 20 years. What's your first recollection of this guy as a player?
Yeah.
Come on, be honest.
I think the first time I ever saw Greg, I couldn't imagine how anyone could hit the ball so hard, because he's actually throttled back about 50% now. But
I mean, he was longer back then?
He used to, I wouldn't say he's longer, but he used to hit the ball an awful lot harder.
All right, what about you? Where'd you see this young guy?
I saw him in a bar drunk. And I had to go and bail him out of jail, because I'll never forget that night.
All right, what do you say about that, huh?
I was helping him up off his stool.
Well, at this point, both players have hit their second shots at this par 5.
Norman played a 5-iron second shot and is left with 97 yards for his third. Remember, this is downwind.
Going.
Get going. Who said get going?
Nicky Price took a little different route. He went with a 3-wood. I think he was trying to hit it just short of the green to the left, and now he has left himself with the long bunker shot. About 60 yards. It may not look very good, but that is an excellent shot from where Nicky Price left his second.
Shot, Nick.
Price with his long bid for birdie now. Hard to imagine, Jack, that Bermuda grass greens can get
that
this fast.
Oh my, yes. Greg Norman in the lead for the first time. Here he is for birdie.
Very simple putt, left edge.
Gave the hole away. Norman makes par, and now Nick Price.
Same type of putt, grain going from left to right. These are just perfect greens. Got to be careful, cannot lose another shot.
Played it to go right, did not. Hit a good putt. The result of bogey 6 for Price. And now Norman takes a 2-stroke lead. What a swing in the last 4 holes.
One of the great landmarks in Palm Beach is the magnificent Breakers Hotel. This luxurious oceanside hotel was designed by Addison Meisner, who also took an old alligator farm and transformed it into a handsome promenade of ritzy shops and restaurants known as Worth Avenue.
Lots of gasoline's talk performance, but no gasoline delivers it to more drivers than Shell. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Now, let's go to 18, where Chichi Rodriguez has a tough putt to save par.
It shouldn't be too hard, Peter. He's already saved 30% on the room.
That's right, Rossi. Travelers 50 and over can get a 30% discount at Comfort Inns and Suites by calling 1-800-228-5150.
Yeah!
Great putt. How does he do it?
Es el descuento. I think he said it's the discount.
Call 1-800-228-5150, where Travelers 50 and over can save 30%, because winning never gets old and neither does saving money.
Sunday, it's your favorite hour of laughs. Remember to hold on to your seat, because you're coming face to face with 2 hilarious episodes of America's Funniest Home Videos. Then, Lois and Clark can't hold back, but some guys will do anything to keep the romance alive. It's Lex Luthor on Lois and Clark after Funniest Videos, Sunday on ABC.
He was everyone's favorite Cappy and the boss on Tuesday nights, and she made Full House a home. Now, Tony Danza and Lori Loughlin are teaming up on Hudson Street, coming to ABC Tuesdays this fall.
DeVille has the airbag system, helping protect all 3 front seat passengers. More people choose the Cadillac DeVille than any other luxury car in America. Count on Cadillac this summer. Current Cadillac owners can lease a new DeVille at its lowest lease rate of the year, just $399 a month for 24 months and $1,950 down. Cadillac, creating a higher standard. See your Cadillac Tri-Statesman.
Here's Dick Tracy.
The Daily News comics are a Sunday tradition in New York. Mayor LaGuardia used to read them to kids over the radio. Dick Tracy, Orphan Annie, Peanuts, Doonesbury. And now the Daily News is the only New York City paper with Sunday comics and the only paper with New York View. Voted the best newspaper TV guide in the country. A whole Sunday's worth of sports, news, entertainment, and business, all for just $1.
This is my money.
So get the Sunday Daily News. It's the most New York you can get, and it's only $1.
Helping men fight fat tonight at 7.
A remarkable shot at the British Open today. New Zealand's Michael Campbell ricochets one off the road bunker and saves par en route to a 65. He leads at the end of 3 rounds, but John Daly has joined the chase. He's only 4 back of Campbell.
Welcome back to the Medalist Golf Club in Hobe Sound, Florida. And we've come now in this match to the 14th hole, Steve.
Jack, 14 is an interesting par 4, only 318 yards, but you're playing your second shot to a very, very small green, guarded by bunkers left and right. You simply must put your tee shot in play to make sure you can have a clean go at this very, very small target.
Well, both players have already hit their tee shots, and we pick up the action here with Greg Norman.
The problems for any player who misses the fairway is getting a clean lie, and that's the problem with Greg Norman here. He's in the pine straw and sand. That's a pitching wedge, and he's caught it heavy, and it's going left. Ooh. So, Jack, problems for Greg Norman. That's down inside the hazard. Now Nicky Price with a sand wedge from 82 yards going right into the wind.
Marvelous shot again by Nick Price here. Magnificent shot to this green that certainly looks like it's a copy from something over in Scotland.
Stacked wall, bunkers there. It's a really neat look, Jack. Norman was looking at this as though he might be able to play it, but no, I don't think so. Chooses instead to drop, and will be playing his 4th shot. But let's take a look at his second shot. He looks pretty good here. Everything is good in the setup. He just catches it heavy with the wind blowing right to left. See, Greg kind of cut it off, pull that left arm in, close the club face, the ball went left, and the result, he's in the hazard. Now, this is his 4th shot. Interesting play with a putter from well off the green.
Yeah.
Come back. Oh, what a nice play, Jack.
Isn't that lovely?
Thank you.
There's one of the interested natives looking on. And here's our host, Buddy Antonopoulos, the head professional at the Medalist Golf Club. We thank him for all his courtesies. Now Price for birdie. Yes.
So just as quickly as Price lost shots on this backside, he picks them up here.
A 2-shot swing, and after 14 holes, Greg Norman even, Nick Price even.
Last year, we introduced Formula Shell gasoline. It's nice to see so many folks getting a kick out of it. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Every year, thousands of accidents occur because drivers momentarily take their eyes off the road. To help prevent this, our engineers have spent countless hours perfecting the Nissan Maxima's ergonomics. Shapes have been scrutinized, and key buttons have been sculpted to be recognized by touch alone. At Nissan, the slightest detail counts, because on the road, the slightest second counts. The Maxima from Nissan.
I really love the sport of golf. I really enjoy waking up at 6 in the morning, teeing up a nice white ball against the green grass, dew on the ground, pulling out my Big Bertha driver and just sending it into the sunlight. I think the Big Bertha driver has the best feel of any driver I've ever used. You want to enjoy your game more? Get yourself a Big Bertha driver.
Big Bertha Warbird at fine golf shops.
If you're a member of Flight Fund, America West's worldwide frequent flyer program, this is the kind of place your miles will take you. To be fair, frequent flyer miles on other national airlines will also take you here. The difference is, with all the money you save accumulating our miles, you'll have a lot more to spend when you arrive. America West. It seems silly to pay more. For reservations, call your professional travel agent or America West.
I'm Robin Roberts. Coming up at 4:30 Eastern Time on ABC's Wide World of Sports, it's same-day coverage of the Tour de France, where Miguel Indurain continues to wear the yellow jersey. Plus, a compelling look at the life of Mike Tyson and the World Weightlifting Championships. That's all at 4:30 on Wide World. Now let's go back to golf.
Welcome back to Hobe Sound, Florida, and the Medalist Golf Club. We have come now to the 16th hole.
A gorgeous par 3, water left, wind blowing from the left. Very difficult pin placement, tough shot for Norman. Greg wants to take it high and from the left, hoping the wind might bring it in.
Oh, Greg, don't pull it, you dummy. You dummy.
You see that so many times.
Well, I felt that was a pretty good swing, too.
A player wants to throw it up in the air to the left, let it come back, Greg just pull it. Same choice of clubs for Nick, 6-iron. I guarantee this will be to the right.
Right in. Here.
Oh, downwind, it is kind of tough, isn't it, to stop them on these greens, and Nick now is in the sand and the pine needles.
Norman is replaying from the teeing ground. By rules of golf, you can always replay from the point where you last played. Norman can re-tee it. This is his third shot.
Look at that thing. That's going to be in the drain.
Not as bad as his first shot, but still not on the green.
I can't believe I hit that first one in the water, Tony. That was a pretty good swing.
Now, Nick Price behind the green, his second shot.
Well, Nick Price has found himself between a rock and a hard place. He's got to pick the club up abruptly. He's in some loose sand with a lot of pine straw. And that's about all he could do. Staring that water straight ahead. It doesn't look very good, but under the circumstances, not a bad play.
Let's take a look at that shot again, Steve.
Ball is actually sitting down in a hole, and he's got a tree behind him. He's got to take an abbreviated swing, pick it up very quickly with no follow-through. That's the key here. The no follow-through gets the ball out, but not very far. You see what a cuppy fly that is? What a tough break for Price. What a great play he made.
Now Norman, fourth shot. Chip this one.
He's putted several from here, but he's chosen to pitch it from here, and he's left himself a pretty tough little putt for 5.
Price now to save par once again. He's really not hit the ball very well on this backside. He's been more in the salvage business than he has been trying to make birdies. Oh, speaking of salvage. Wow, with Norman facing a tough putt for 5, Price converts.
It's like raising the Titanic.
For Norman, if he makes, he's down by 1. If he misses, he's down by 2.
Triple bogey. So Greg Norman with a tee shot in the water here. Takes a triple bogey. He is now +3. Nick Price +1 after 16 holes. The 17th hole at the Medalist, a par 5, 551 yards. As we pick up the action, both players have hit 2 shots. Greg Norman in trouble. This is his 3rd.
Norman tried to have a go at this par 5 green and 2, really pulled it badly. Now he's left with an impossible shot. He's turned a wedge upside down. All he can do is hit it left, and he's made a pretty good play. That's sensational considering where he is.
From there, Greg Norman would make bogey on the 17th hole.
Please stand.
And Nick Price has this putt for birdie.
He's made so many putts of this length already today. He's amazing.
Ooh. So the leaderboard now changes once more after 17 holes of play. Greg Norman is +4. Nick Price at even par.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from Dean Witter.
Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it.
At Dean Witter,
we measure success one investor at a time.
Right after my 24th birthday, I won the Australian Open. I couldn't have done it without my Big Bertha irons. I feel so confident, and I love the game even more now. I hit more greens than ever before, and I hit it further and straighter. I also won the LPGA Rookie of the Year. And I bet you, if you try these Big Bertha irons, you will love them as much as I do.
Big Bertha irons at fine golf shops.
After all the hype and all the noise, which gasoline still attracts more drivers than any other? No contest. Shell, the world's best-selling gasoline.
Consider credit card rebates, gasoline, airline miles, cars. Many can hold you down with restrictions or yearly limits. But not the Discover card. The more you use your card, the higher your cashback bonus award. And you're never restricted on how you can use cash. When it comes to rebates from the Discover card, the sky's the limit. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Accept it where you see the Nova sign.
The summer heats up with baseball's hottest hit. The Braves, the Angels, the Cubs, and the Rockies come out to play on Baseball Night in America, Monday, here on ABC.
One lawyer, one case, one mystery.
The whole truth's a pretty ambitious goal, but do tell me the truth I need to know.
One murder, one detective, one suspect.
When I walked in, she was dead.
One mistress, one wife, one surprise after another, after another.
Get me out.
Murder One, this fall on ABC.
Welcome back to Hope Sound, Florida, and the Medalist Golf Club, as we come to the 18th hole in this match between Greg Norman and Nick Price. Par 4, 470 yards. Both players have hit their drives. Second shot for Greg Norman.
He really liked to finish off strongly, Jack. You know, he's really disappointed in the last couple of holes. The match was tight until then. The wayward tee shot at 16. What a nice way to finish.
Yeah, nicely on the green here at 18 for Greg Norman.
I don't think we'll take 6 off that.
Now Nick Price.
Oh, easy.
Got to be careful. There's water right. He's okay, though.
You know, one of the greatest things about our friendship, I think, is the fact that we can, once we finish the golf course, once we get off the golf course and we finish golf, we can sit down and have a beer together and we don't even have to talk about golf. And that's something I really like. We've had a couple of fishing trips together in the last 2 years where we spend 8 to 10 days on the boat together, and you know, golf doesn't even factor in our conversations. So, in fact, he's so competitive that we're always trying to get see who's going to catch the biggest fish or the most fish. So, but it's great, and I feel very fortunate to have such a good friend, you know. And,
maybe the essence of competition, Jack.
Right there, 2 great pals fighting it out bitterly on the golf course, but still friends. Now Nick Price.
Pretty simple bunker shot here. Makes it look easy, huh?
Sure does. Well, as you said, it was a very good match till 16, which was the turnaround hole.
Norman for birdie.
Well,
Greg just never really made anything today, and when he mishit a shot, he paid the dearest penalty for it.
That's a par for Greg. And 4 over 76. Price for par.
Now, Nick. Good playing, bud.
Even. 72.
That's good, man. Good
Thanks,
playing.
man.
Yeah.
Thanks. This is a tough golf course,
Oh,
huh?
yeah. Too tough for me, man.
Thank you, Jim.
The guy who designed it, I blame Pete Dye. Jimmy, thanks, bud.
Jack, we saw some great golf today.
Sure did. There's the scorecard. Greg Norman out in 37, Price in 35, Greg in 39, and Price in 37. And as we said, until the 16th hole, a very close match. That triple bogey 6 at 16 was the turning point. And here, what a roller coaster round it was. Greg Norman on the front had 1 bogey in all pars. Then on the back 9, he had 2 birdies and then a bogey and a triple bogey, while Nick Price, 2 birdies and 3 bogeys. Let's go to Steve Melnick.
Thank you, Jack Whitaker. I think today we witnessed 2 very good players fighting a very difficult golf course in a hard-fought match. And Greg Norman, a tough course out there.
Oh, very difficult there, Steve. But I didn't play very good today, and Nick played great. And I think that's the golf course probably got the better of both of us today.
Nick, you know, we've been talking to you as we finished the last couple of holes. You talked about the swings of shots in the back nine. Something of a surprise for you, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and I was just trying to hang in there, you know, after Greg birdied 10 and 12 to go to 1 under, and I'd 3-putted 12, you know, I was just trying to stay in touch. And but this kind of golf course, you know, it lends itself to a lot of swing change, you know, in strokes and that. And the last 3 holes, he was kind of kind to me, though, you know, he made it a little easy for me.
Well, congratulations on the good play.
Thank you, Steve.
To my left, of course, is the president of Shell Oil Products Company, Jim Morgan. Jim, you have a very special trophy here.
Steve, thank you very much. Greg and Nick, thanks a lot for a super match at a delightful setting here in the Medalist in South Florida. It's going to be another terrific one in the series of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. And on behalf of Shell customers and employees worldwide, I'd like to present you, Nick, with the winner's trophy of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf.
Thanks very much, Jim. Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Thanks.
Jim, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be part of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. Greg Norman, terrific play on a marvelous golf course. It's only going to get better. And Nick Price, continued good play.
Thank you very much.
All right, Jack Whitaker, back to you.
Thank you, Steve. This was a first for Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. For the first time in the entire series, We have come to a brand new golf course instead of one with an historic tradition. And these 18 holes, very young, at the Medalist Golf Club in Hobe Sound, Florida, came through with flying colors. Environmentally correct, strategically testing, Pete Dye and Greg Norman have designed a golf course here which brings back many facets of this game that have been in disuse on a lot of American courses over the last decade. The bump and run shot, for instance. Firm fairways and firm greens, which present other problems that many other golf courses do not have. Add to that the fact of where it is, here in Hobe Sound, Florida, where the winds off the Atlantic Ocean buffet it daily, constantly changing the golf course, constantly changing the problems you have to solve. It will be no surprise to any of us if this course is not in the world's top 10 very shortly. And didn't Greg Norman and Nick Price give it a classic baptism? We hope you enjoyed it. For Steve Melnick, this is Jack Whitaker. We'll see you on the next Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. The executive producer of Shell's Wonderful World of Golf is Terry Jastrow. Produced by Jim Walton. Directed by John Del Vecchio. Executive in charge of production, Mike Piffy. Associate producer is Chris Pfeiffer. The assistant to the producer, Matthew Clark.